Tamzin Outhwaite has reflected on her eldest child coming out as transgender, saying he's now thriving after a long journey. The EastEnders actress, 55, has 2 children with Lucifer star Tom Ellis, 47, to whom she was married from 2006 to 2014. These are Marnie, 12, and Flo, 17. Last July, Tamzin spoke about Flo's identity publicly for the first time, saying he came out as trans when he was about 10 or 11. "I've got 2 kids. I did have 2 daughters and now I have a son and a daughter," she told the Parenting Hell podcast. "That's quite easy for me to say now, but it wasn't maybe 6 or 7 years ago." Now, Tamzin has shared how recent years have brought her family closer. "It's been a long journey. A very long journey, but we're in a great place now," she told the Mirror at the British Diversity Awards. She added sweetly of Flo, "I'm just happy that he's happy, and that's how I feel at the moment. He's thriving, absolutely thriving." Tamzin initially decided to open up about navigating parenting with a trans child to encourage compassion and understanding, feeling proud to use her platform for such a purpose. Still, there are boundaries in place which she remains mindful of. "I'm not allowed to talk about him, Flo," she said. "I was only allowed to talk about him on Rob Beckett and Josh Widdicombe's podcast, Parenting Hell, because it's his favorite podcast. So I was allowed to talk about him with both of those 2, but I'm not allowed to talk about him anywhere else, and I respect that decision." Appearing on the podcast last year, Tamzin declared that being trans is not the most interesting thing about Flo as she showered him with praise. "He's an incredibly funny, intelligent boy. And I'm watching him grow into a wonderful human who's very talented. And to see him thriving is just nothing but relief and joy for me, really. Because there were some dark times." She went on to share that therapy was a key tool in helping her understand things from Flo's perspective, because, until you're going through it yourself with your child, it's difficult to judge the situation. "I think if you push back on a kid, they'll want to do the opposite of what their parent says," she mused. "I didn't say, you can't be that. But it was a distressing time. We worked together as a family, and with outside help." Tamzin added that every child is different, and it's important to be sensitive. The whole LGBT community get a bit of a hard rap at the moment. "It's quite tough, I think. It is a hot topic." She concluded about where things stand now. "Now we're in a really wonderful place as a family. Flo is in a wonderful place as a brilliant actor, singer, writer, and director in his 6th form. And Marnie is thriving." Tamzin, who rose to fame as Mel Owen in Albert Square, is currently single, having split from much younger boyfriend Tom Child in 2024 after 6 years together. However, she has insisted they are still best mates, since Tom was around for the whole of Flo's transitioning period, as well as Marnie growing up. "He is still a member of the family. We've been not together for over a year," she said. "The kids often say to him, 'When you meet someone, or even if you have, how are you going to explain this situation to your girlfriends?'" As for her ex-husband, their soured relationship also seems to have healed after he walked out on her and their kids. The Miranda star, who has been married to Megan Oppenheimer since 2019, allegedly confessed to cheating on his wife with American actress Emily de Ravin in 2013. Marking 10 years since the breakdown of their marriage, Tamzin wrote on social media in 2023, "10 years since the father of my kids walked out on us for the final time. I still meet new people on jobs who reveal more infidelities and lies he committed. But thankfully my heart and soul are clear and clean, and I could not be happier right now." The former soap actress soon deleted her post but followed it up with, "Thank you all for your messages. Re my now deleted tweet. I was marking the 10-year anniversary with pride, a feeling of triumph and genuine gratitude. I understand it has triggered some people. For anyone struggling, the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself." But last August, she reposted pictures of Tom with their kids on Instagram after they joined him at the premiere of Netflix's The Thursday Night Murder Club. Tamzin added, "My heart is bursting. #such a proud mama. Love heart emo. Got a story? If you've got a celebrity story, video or pictures, get in touch with the Metro UK entertainment team by emailing us celebtips@metro.co.uk, calling 020-3615-2145 or by visiting our Submit Stuff page. We'd love to hear from you." The room was quiet in that fragile, almost sacred way, like the air itself understood that something important had already happened here. something that would ripple outward for years to come. Tamzin Outhwaite sat by the window, a cup of tea growing cold in her hands. Outside, the world moved as it always did. Cars passing, people laughing, life continuing without pause. But inside her, time had stretched, folded, reshaped itself into something unrecognizable. "It's been a long journey," she would later say. But in that moment there were no words polished enough to capture it. Only memories layered and vivid. She remembered the early years first. A child with laughter that filled entire rooms. A child who didn't quite fit into the boxes the world seemed so eager to hand out. There had been questions, small at first. Preferences that others brushed off as phases. Moments that lingered just a little longer in her mind than they did in anyone else's. As a mother, she had watched closely. Not with fear, but with curiosity. With love. Because love, she would learn, is not about understanding everything immediately. It's about staying. The conversation itself hadn't come like thunder. There was no dramatic storm. No explosive revelation. Just honesty, quiet, trembling but powerful. "I need to tell you something." Those words can change everything. And they did. Her child, her eldest, shared the truth they had been carrying for so long. A truth that had lived beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment, the right courage. They were transgender. For a fleeting second the world tilted. Not because of rejection. Not because of doubt. But because of the weight of it. The realization that her child had been walking a path she couldn't fully see. That there had been struggles hidden behind smiles. Questions asked in silence. Battles fought internally. And in that instant something shifted inside her. Not away from her child but closer. People often talk about acceptance as if it's a single moment. A door that swings open and stays that way forever. But for Tamzin it wasn't a moment. It was a journey. A learning curve filled with conversations, mistakes, growth, and above all listening. She had questions. Of course she did. Any parent would. But she learned quickly that not every question needed an immediate answer. Sometimes what mattered more was presence, support, trust. "I'm here," she told her child. And she meant it. There were challenges. The world, after all, isn't always kind to those who step outside its expectations. There were opinions, loud, unsolicited, and often uninformed. There were headlines, whispers, and the ever-present scrutiny that comes with being in the public eye. But within their home, something stronger existed. Understanding. It didn't happen overnight. There were moments of hesitation. Times when she worried she might say the wrong thing or fail to fully grasp what her child was experiencing. But love has a way of guiding you, even when you're unsure of the path. She began to see things differently. The past, once viewed through a familiar lens, now revealed new meaning. Moments that once seemed ordinary took on deeper significance. Pieces of a puzzle she hadn't known she was assembling. And her child, no longer hidden behind expectations, began to shine in a way that was unmistakable. Authenticity has a glow to it, a quiet confidence, a sense of peace that can't be forced or faked. And seeing that made every step of the journey worth it. It's been a long journey. When Tamzin says it now, there's no exhaustion in her voice. No regret. Only reflection. Because the journey didn't take something away, it gave something back. A deeper connection. A stronger bond. A more profound understanding of what it truly means to love someone unconditionally. There's a moment she holds on to. A simple one. No cameras. No interviews. No outside noise. Just the two of them sitting together talking about nothing and everything all at once. And in that moment she realizes something powerful. Her child isn't different from who they've always been. They're just freer. The world often frames stories like these as transformations, before and after, then and now. But Tamzin doesn't see it that way. To her, it's not about losing one version of her child and gaining another. It's about seeing them clearly for the first time. And maybe that's what makes the journey so meaningful. Not the distance traveled, but the clarity found along the way. She knows there will still be challenges ahead. The world is still learning, still growing, still stumbling. But she also knows this. They'll face it together. With honesty. With resilience. With love that doesn't ask for perfection. Only truth. As the tea finally cools completely in her hands, she sets it aside and looks out the window again. The world is still moving. But now so is she. Forward. Always forward. Because some journeys don't end. They evolve. And this one has only just begun. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.